It was a little table, the only size that would fit into the little kitchen of our little apartment, and it was so old and dinged up that you couldn't even tell what color the stain had been in its old life before Mama and I had found it during the Independence Day sale at the Goodwill. And on top of it, smelling like sugar and memories, there was a box of old-fashioned donuts from the whole shebang. My daddy had been dead for 83 days, and still, somehow, there was a box of the exact same donuts he'd brought home on the first day of every new school year since I started kindergarten, sitting right there on our kitchen table. 2. The apartment was quiet and dark when I got off the school bus that afternoon. My phone, the cheapest plastic flip phone that Mama could find at Walmart, buzzed from my backpack with Mama's check-in text. I imagined her paused in the middle of vacuuming, her bubblegum-colored Mary's Maid's polo smudged with dust and sweat, pulling out her phone the second she knew I'd be back. "You get home okay?" "Yep," I tapped back. I'd asked for a phone for what felt like years before Daddy died, but he and Mama had always agreed that I was too young. But afterward, when Mama had to call her boss at the cleaning company and say that she wanted to work full-time, as many days a week as they had available, she'd given me the phone. "For emergencies," she'd said, "and to let me know you're safe." She hadn't even let me give Monica and Meredith my phone number, back when we were friends, because she didn't want them running up my texts. My phone buzzed again. "Good. See you in time for dinner. Stay inside. XOXO." I closed it and stuck it into the pocket of my shorts. That was the one good thing about that phone. It was nice and small. I left my backpack where it was on the doormat and went right back outside, making sure I'd locked the door behind me, my silver fold-up scooter tucked under my arm. I turned my brain off so that it couldn't think about Mama's instructions to stay inside, or how panicky she'd be if she knew what I was actually doing. Mama, who had stayed with me at the bus stop that morning until the bus came, even though I was 11 and not 6. Mama, who checked the locks on the doors 3 times when we went to bed and never let me open the windows in case I forgot to lock them again. Mama, who'd always been a little anxious before Daddy died, but lived in a constant state of terrified these days. I unfolded my scooter when I got down the wrought iron stairs of our apartment complex and hopped on. I didn't worry about scootering through the probably not-so-safe parts of town by myself, the way I knew Mama would have. I was good at being invisible. I knew how to stay small, so that eyes would slip right past me like I wasn't there at all. If I concentrated hard enough, if I closed my eyes and imagined that I had Harry Potter's invisibility cloak, I was pretty sure I could make myself fade away into the world around me so that my skin took on the look of grass or brick or cinder block, so that nobody looked over and saw Annie Lee Fitzgerald at all. Invisible people couldn't be seen, and people who couldn't be seen couldn't be hurt. My heart had cracked right down the middle the day that Daddy died, and then cracked all over again when me and Monica and Meredith drifted apart and stopped talking. I couldn't take any more cracking. Durham was a big city, one that sprawled out over so many miles that it felt like 2 or 3 cities all joined up together. There was a little bit of everything in Durham. Shining shopping malls surrounded by new subdivisions where every house had the same floor plan. Endless suburbs that stretched out as far as the eye could see. Towering glass buildings that glittered in the sun. And then there was where we lived. Old North Durham, where everything was either old and falling down or old and fixed up to be trendy. Where Mama and I lived was definitely the first kind of old. The sidewalk I rode down, the one that ran along our road, was broken up and lined with weeds and sagging Victorians wrapped around with chain-link fences.